Hello, and welcome to my podcast. For today's topic, we're going to be exploring political socialization and values. I'm going to be asking you a series of questions, and I want you to answer to the best of your abilities. Political socialization is basically how you learn your beliefs, where you learn them from, like family, school, and the peers around you, even social media. And values are the things you prioritize in your life.
Do you want to tell us your name?
My name is Natalie Arzate.
And what is your political standpoint? Like, are you Democrat,
I'm
conservative?
a Democrat.
Democrat? Okay. There's gonna be 4 main topics of questions I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions for each. The topics being political views, racial and ethnic diversity, social views, and education.
Okay.
So we're gonna start off with political views. What do you think is the biggest issue that our country is facing right now? And how would you go about solving it?
I think the biggest issue right now is there's a lot of gun violence going on, and there's also, or like gun violence in schools, and also like the system for, what is it? Immigrants. And I think that since Donald Trump right now, he's like more just like taking out anybody that's really Mexican or like doesn't have their papers and all that, which at first he said he was just going to take out people that had like a background of like in incarcerated people, but then he started taking a bunch of other like regular people that had already got their papers and everything and were fighting for that. So I think the way I would go about that is like to do background research on a person before like going out into the street and just like collectively taking a group of people. And I also seen a video where they were chasing them until they got to their house because they don't have a warrant to like go into their house, but they were still chasing them on the street to try and grab them because they were just outside speaking Spanish, which was really crazy. And for the gun violence in schools, like I think people need to be researched before being able to own a gun, because at this point they're really just letting anybody with an ID buy a gun instead of searching their background. Yeah.
Period. Okay. What do you think would be the best way to deal with poverty?
Poverty?
Like poor people.
I think our economic stance, everything's going up right now, and which I don't really know why. I just be living. So I don't know. We could come back to that question.
Okay. How can we assure that everyone has affordable health care?
Right now they just took it away. Great question. I think that there's still some places open, like my mom's facility, that they give free healthcare to anyone no matter what it is. But since like healthcare has taken away some like medicine from them, they still try their best to like resort to different types of medicine that are still the same, because in my mom's healthcare system they serve to anybody and everybody, and they go out of their way to go to like Skid Road and all that to help people out, to make sure that they get their daily medicine and prescriptions, no matter if they have what is it called when they give you
What do you mean, like prescribed? Medicine?
No.
Prescription?
Yeah, prescription, but when you have Medi-Cal, no matter if you have like Medi-Cal or anything, it doesn't matter to them. Like her facility gives you they check up on you no matter what. So I think there's in some cases there's that everybody can go to. You just have to like want to be able to go there yourself.
Am I also supposed to be like, it's like a podcast, so am I supposed to be like off? Yeah, I agree with that. I personally believe that in order to make sure everyone can afford healthcare, or there is affordable healthcare, is to elect people into office who care about healthcare, because that's where it starts. If the people who are in charge of this country don't see that as a priority, it never will be one. And so I feel like we have to start there. that was it for political views. Moving on to racial and ethnic diversity. What do you think is the best way to ensure that everyone has equal opportunities no matter their race or ethnicity?
Wait, can you repeat the question?
What is the best way to make sure everyone has equal opportunities no matter their race?
I think everyone has an equal opportunity in some stances, but like right now, since the people in office, they kind of have their own judgment on who should be here and who shouldn't be here. I think that people in office should still, like as you said earlier, that they should elect people that really care about these topics. I think everyone should be equal because no matter their race or ethnicity or anything, everyone always wants a better life for themselves and the future generations after them. And well, if we're all just gonna side with one side, I don't think it's fair for everyone else. I think we've gotten better at it. I think we just need to have a more deeper thought into it.
How can schools be more inclusive?
These are great questions.
Like, right, I know there was like a mini debate going on right now about schools not having wheelchair friendly equipment and playgrounds and things such as that. So that's just one way that they see schools not as inclusive. There's also people who believe that the Bible should be taught at school, and some are arguing that if you're going to teach the Bible, you teach other religions and such as that. So what do you think the school can do in order to be inclusive for everyone rather than just one minority?
I think like how our school has it, you could make clubs about it. And well, yeah, you can make clubs about it. Like right now, I know we have a Bible club that if you really want to go, like you're able to go, and if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. People can make clubs about it. There's also different schools that teach different things and have different like systems. I know right now there's a couple schools, or like I know I went to a Catholic school when I was younger, and well, I went there. And for wheelchairs and all that, I think every school knows who they're signing into because they have their documents, and you say like if you have like a medical issue or stuff like that. I do think most schools should have a wheelchair system where they have ramps and everything. I know there's a couple schools that have it. I think our school is pretty leveled, so like we don't really need a wheelchair system, but also like the deep indents of like the streets. But yeah.
Okay. Last question for this topic. Do you believe it's important to understand different cultures, and if so, why?
I do think it is important to understand different cultures because everyone has different perspectives and everything. And there are different aspects in what they do in life, like how Egyptian people, they fast, and Catholics, they believe in certain things. Catholics and Christians, I know one believes in only prioritizing your God, and then another one believes in you also prioritize the Virgin Mary. But at the end of the day, everyone believes in one God, and everybody believes in stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. Moving on to social views. What do you think about same-sex marriage, and do you think it's progressive for our country? Like, do you think it's a good step towards bettering our country?
I believe in same-sex marriage is okay. I believe that it's a great way of showing that it's not just one-on-one. I think it is progressive for our country. I just think some people use it in the wrong ways or think about it in the wrong ways. But at the end of the day, it's everyone's choice on what they want to believe about it. But I think it is progressive, and I think it was right.
Okay. Do you believe social media affects our opinions and our discussions? If so, why?
I think it does because people like you could give an opinion on social media, but it could also be a lie. But since somebody's telling you off of a screen and they're making it seem logistical, sometimes people go based off anything they scroll on social media. Like, I know old people, they really believe in AI right now. And like my grandma, she showed me this AI video about Donald Trump that really wasn't true, but you know, what can we do about it? But I think social media has a big impact on what people have to think now.
Yeah, I agree. I also I agree. I think that especially with social media, a lot of the apps we use is like, after a while it gets so personalized to a person's what they like, what they believe in, and it restricts them from seeing both sides of the story a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Like, if you are only ever seeing a bunch of conservative TikToks and things like that, you'll never, it restricts you from being able to see like the other side of things, the other perspective for other people. I feel like that's a big flaw within social media, and it's a big influence in a lot of the things we believe, because it's a big, our main source of getting information. Okay. Next question. Do you believe it's important for people to get involved in their communities?
I think it is important, because the more you're involved with your community, you get a lot of more stuff done, and you can see what is going on in your community, as in based off of like school education and all that. I know Paramount, everyone's really involved in it. They like to make these big programs and always let anybody come or come to the council meetings for Paramount. And I think it's a really good way of knowing what's going on in your community and knowing that you have a choice in deciding if something happens or if something doesn't happen, that you know that you had a choice in that.
Okay, yeah. Our last section is education. And the first question for that is going to be, what changes would you make to schools to ensure a great future for students?
Can you elaborate?
For example, a lot of people think that teachers aren't getting paid enough, and they think that that's a reflection into how teachers teach, which it just, at the end of the day, it affects the students, because teachers are not teaching as well as they used to, or like the passion is not in there because they're not getting paid enough, and they don't see it as a lifelonging job, basically. So is there anything that you would like, even school lunches, a lot of students are complaining that the lunches aren't good and they don't eat, and if kids don't eat, then it's going to be harder for them to learn. So just knowing all of these things now, what would you change within like maybe our school specifically in order to make sure that these students are set up for like success?
I think with the food, they've been trying to change it a lot. I think they've tried to get our opinion on it with like taste testing everything. And I think our food has changed. They've upgraded just a little bit. I think that in our school specifically, I think our teachers teach really well. They teach what they know and how they know how to teach it. And they show that they want to give us the best opportunities to continue trying. In other schools, I think I can see the difference when I do internships, how teachers like minimalize their education for other students because of how they think that they'll capture it, and they don't teach them as properly, and they only teach it in one way instead of helping other kids teach it in a different way. So maybe like, I know some schools, they have like 2 teachers in one classroom, or like check-ins and all that. So just ensuring that like every kid gets an opportunity to like see that they know the knowledge of their things. Our school does after school, and I think that's really helpful that the teachers also do stay here without getting extra pay after that. But I do think that our what is it called, government should put more attention on teachers' pay, because that is our future, and they're not showing enough care for our future. Since they minimalize the pay for education, but yet they still want people to be well educated and go to school and all that. But when you have to pay for all of it, it's like, it's kind of hard for low income people.
Okay, yeah. We are running out of time, so we'll let that question be the last one. But I thank you for joining here on our podcast today. And yeah.
Thank you.